everyone, and welcome to Booming Encore's Learning Bites. My name is Susan Williams, and I'm the founder of Booming Encore. Now, the majority of Canadians would really like to age in place. In fact, a survey conducted by the National Institute of Aging and the Canadian Medical Association found that 96% of Canadians would like to age in their own homes and live as independently as possible for as long as possible. But there's a possible challenge in actually achieving this. A March of Dimes study actually discovered out of the people that they surveyed who wanted to age in place, only 26% predicted that they would actually be able to do this, resulting in what some are calling an aging in place gap. To discuss this topic further and how a chip reverse mortgage could possibly help someone be able to age in place and close this gap, I'm really pleased to welcome Vivianne Gauci from HomeEquity Bank. Welcome, Vivianne. Great to see you.
Hi, Susan. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
A delight. Now, first of all, let's just start. What does actually aging in place mean?
Well, aging in place really just refers to how people want to stay in their own homes. Usually, there's a whole host of reason. There's really the fact that you have a whole community nearby. You may have friends, family, loved ones nearby. There's also the element of all these memories that you might have in your home that you want to stay close to. Kids growing up. You raised a family there, so there's a real sense of this is home. It's been home for so many years, and one does feel most comfortable usually at home. So there's really a whole host of reasons why people prefer that to, especially once we get older, we just feel like, starting over and being in a new place, particularly when we might be feeling that, things are starting to change. Other things are starting to change in our lives, physically, mentally, potentially. That it's, this is the best place for us. We just feel, home is where the heart is, home is where everything is, and we just want to stay there. And really, one of the big reasons why this is coming up is we're living longer. Our the being able to increase our longevity has been one of our great achievements as humans. And so what that means though is we're more active, we're healthier for longer than ever before. And that's allowing us to stay in our homes longer than ever before. So I think there's both this emotional piece and there's a physical piece as to why we want to remain in our own homes.
Yeah, you can definitely see why there is such an attraction to doing this. But there's also a risk that someone could become what I'm calling caged in place, meaning that they get stuck in their home. But to make sure that this doesn't actually happen, I know you mentioned a few things, but what should they really do to ensure that they're able to successfully age in place?
Well, Susan, we like to think of it as this golden triangle of happiness. And it's not something that we came up with. It's actually a study that's been done by Deakin University in Australia. And they find that there's like three different areas. I mean, there's lots of different areas, but really when they had to summarize it and bring it down to the essentials, it's three different areas that we should be looking at, making sure we're addressing in our lives in general to make sure that we are happy. So they call it the golden triangle of happiness. And the first one is about connection. So making sure that we're connected to those that we care about and that we love, and that they're connected to us. So being able to make sure that you're maintaining those connections on a regular basis is important. The next one is a sense of purpose. And so that means, like, do you feel like you are enriching somebody else's life? Do you feel like you are doing something that actually has meaning and a purpose, really? That you being here, you being on this earth, is making some sort of a difference. And the third piece is just a basic one, but it's a little bit about making sure you can address the basics and making sure that you have the financial means, a sense of financial control, that you can actually maintain yourself in life.
Yeah. No, some excellent points. As we often say, like a purpose is really, the reason to get up in the morning, and everybody really needs that. And especially, as you said, when you're living and aging in place, you want to make sure you have those social connections because that's absolutely critical. That's what's, kind of makes life worth living, as they say. So thanks so much
100%.
for that. Now,
Yeah.
how could a chip reverse mortgage possibly help someone successfully age in place?
Well, there's a lot of barriers to successfully aging in place from, being able to maybe afford mortgage payments, to the fact that, in the current economic climate, inflation has made everything more expensive. You might have to do home renovations because you need the home to be a little bit more accessible. And you might even think about, further on down the line, you might need some help, somebody to coming into your home to help you from a healthcare perspective. So there's a couple of different reasons why, that you might need to consider as part of your ability to successfully age in place. But really, when if you're a homeowner, you have options. And so, I like to say people should consider all their options. And so, one of those options is obviously the chip reverse mortgage. And it is, time and time again, what we find is people come to us, they get information. We tell them, do all your research, make sure that you're considering all your options. And what they find is that our product is a safe and secure financial solution. It allows people to access up to 55% of the value in their home. It's tax free. It doesn't impact CPP, OAS, any GIS. So that's important. And I guess the key thing is that it doesn't require monthly payments. So if you have an existing mortgage right now, it frees up a lot of cash flow in the sense that you're not having to make those monthly payments anymore. So it's a great option. Again, not for everyone, but what I always say is people need to consider all their options and need to explore and do the research. So
Yeah.
that's important. And so I think, that's a key opportunity for people to explore if they're feeling like they want to age in place, but they haven't been able um, uh, to address that third point in that golden triangle of happiness of having a sense of financial well-being.
That's great. And I just want to kind of go back to the physical aspects of aging in place because the reverse mortgage can actually help you unlock some of the equity in your home to be able to make the modifications to your home to be able to do this. But this takes time, doesn't it? I mean, you have to actually plan for this and do it before you actually need it. And I think that's where a lot of people may get caught as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted a home equity line of credit, people definitely need to plan ahead. And because if you're gonna go to a bank, which is, it's again one of the options and a great solution, but you need to think and plan ahead while you still have income, because usually the banks require you to have a certain amount of income so that you can service the loan, right? That's an important part of a line of credit. It needs to revolve. They keep an eye on how is the line revolving? Are people making payments on a regular basis? And so that's an important aspect of it. And also, if you're not actually using it, it's a great safety net to have later on. However, you're never guaranteed that the bank won't necessarily pull the line. Sometimes when, credit environments like the markets get and the credit environments get tight, sometimes they pull back on home equity lines of credit. So that's it's always there's a
Yeah,
two
give and
sides of
take, so to
that
speak.
equation.
Yeah,
But with
exactly.
with chip, you don't have to worry about that income testing, right? It's designed for people who, are on CPP, OAS, GIS. Like it's based on the value of your home. So it's a different type of approval process. And so that's why there's a lot more flexibility with the chip reverse mortgage versus a typical home equity line of credit.
Well, thanks so much for clarifying that. Now, if someone was interested in getting a chip reverse mortgage, what should they do?
Of course, Susan. So if they want more information, they're looking to do research, please come to www.chip.ca, and you can browse to your heart's content. We have financial illustrations that you can put in your home value, you can put in your age, You can put on your address and we can give you an estimate of how much you qualify for and also what that looks like over time, including what happens to your home equity given a certain appreciation rate. So you can do all that and you can play with those calculators there and do different scenarios. Or if you want to speak to somebody, we're always available. Call us toll free at 1-855-439-7166. That's 1-855-439-7166. And you can get your Great Canadian Retirement Guide. We'll send that off to you. And then there's also a Chip Reverse Mortgage Guide if you want to learn more information about the product. But the Great Canadian Retirement Guide is a little booklet that we've created and has lots of great offers and resources and some free offers and resources in there. So I also recommend that you ask for that. But it's a great opportunity for you to learn more, do some more research, and to explore if maybe this is a product that might be right for you.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Vivian. This is great. I think it helps people identify that there are some options out there beyond what they may have necessarily know to be able to successfully age in place. So I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Susan, for having me.
And to everybody out there, hope you found this information valuable and helps you live your best booming encore. Bye for now.